Hi guys, couple things. Brian from Auto Aces wanted to go over some maintenance items that are applicable for winter, of course, and all year round. But this time of year, stuff is even more important. So we do a couple subjects. The first one is going to be engine oil. So it used to be that you could have engine oil sitting in your garage, and if it said oil on it, you could pour it in your car. That is so not the case. It's important you know what type of oil goes in your car and how to check the level. I think the majority of people have checked oil before and have a friend show them how to check the oil. You pull the dipstick and you fill it up. It's really that easy. Questions with that, let me know, but you should be okay with that. But it's more important on the oil viscosity and oil type. I picked out a couple containers here, 0W20, 5W30, another 020, but it's completely, they are not the same, all right? I won't bore you with the details, but you gotta know what goes in the car. Couple ways to tell. One, check your oil cap. See this oil cap says 5W30 on it, all right? So you could put this 5W30 in it. This is synthetic. SAE is just the rating of the oil. So that is the oil viscosity that would go in it. So here's the kicker. This one says 0W20 on it. So does that one. You got to look at the container and be careful. You could get away with it years ago. Today you cannot. If you don't know, don't put it in, okay? So watch your oil level and use the right oil. You pull up to a parts store, anybody be glad to help you out, or my guys will. Auto Aces does do free oil top off. So if you're in the area of any of my shops, stop in, pop the hood, walk in. The nice guy or lady at the counter will literally fill your oil for no cost, and they will use the right stuff. Really important. Please don't pour in just because it says engine oil on it, okay? All right, tip number 2, wiper blades, okay? Seems very simple and no big deal, right? It isn't if they're working, all right? But everybody has been downtown Milwaukee and you can't see where the heck you're going, or your washer fluid is low. You gotta be careful with that. So here's the deal. There are several different types of wiper blades, judging by the length, by the brand, back to you have to know what you're putting on. But the best way to check whether you need them or not is to actually turn your wipers on. Turn them on, turn on your washer and see how it clears the windshield. Obviously, if there's a big piece of rubber hanging, you need the wiper blades, but I've changed so many blades that look fine. Like I literally will walk up, said, I don't know why you need wiper blades. They'll say, well, turn them on once. Run the washers for a little bit, turn the wipers on, and leave a patch right in front of your face this wide. Guess what? You need wiper blades. Not a huge deal. Be a little careful because some of them are expensive. There are beam blades, if you're paying attention to your friend's cars in the parking lot or whatever, you'll notice some weird looking spaceship wiper blades on them that don't have this wire webbing. That's a beam blade, and I'm telling you, I have paid $30 to $40 a blade. That's crazy. Shop them a little bit or call me and I'll get you hooked up with a decent price on blades. Blades are expensive. Turn on your washer, see what they do, put new ones on. Better to change them when you have time than when you have to have them when you're heading to the holidays at the family or whatever. You can't see where the hell you're going, all right? All right, tip number 3. Tire pressures, tire tread depth. All right, I'll show you tread depth in a little bit, but I want to show you something on this car. Is a very large misconception where you set your tire pressures. One of the big things that we do, and the common things, is the tire pressure light. We kind of all know what that looks like. It's the yellow light that's flashing that says, hey dude, fill your tires up. A lot of that can be solved by setting the pressure to the right pressure, okay? How do you know? Let me show you. Every car that I know of has a sticker. I'll show you. If you look at this door placard, you may not be able to read that, but this one says front tire is 35 pounds. Excuse me, front tire is 30 pounds, rear tire is 35 pounds. You would have never thought this car would have staggered pressures, but it does, and that is a big deal. All right, so that is where you look for your pressure. Here's what you don't do. I'll show you over here. So this is a tire we changed earlier today. And this guy, I highlighted in yellow, has a maximum tire pressure of 40. That is not where you set the tire pressure. You set it by the door. I don't care what your tire says. I care what your car says. So you set the front to 30 and the rear to 35. Your car at home will be a little bit different, but look at the placard and set the pressures accordingly. Now, what you can do is you can get away with a little bit more pressure, about 2 pounds higher than what it says. So if you're at 30, go to 32, 35, go to 37. Easy math. I had to use my fingers to double check that, but a couple pounds is okay, all right? Because then that gives you a little stagger in tire pressure, because as the temperature drops 10 degrees, your tire pressure drops about half a pound. That's a big deal. If you drop 40 degrees, that's a big deal, okay? So keep that in mind. Temp goes down, so does pressure. So you want to set it a little bit high for a little bit of flexibility, okay? Tread depth. Let's change gears here to how much tread depth and do you need new tires. So there is a wear bar on most tires. If you look at this tire, there's a bulge right here in between the treads. That is the wear bar. That is a completely worn out tire when you're to this, okay? Well, you might be able to get away with that in Florida, but we don't live in Florida, unfortunately. So we need to have some rubber. The average throwaway tread depth is 3/32. That's this depth right here, and that's about what this tire is. I know you can use a coin, and we've all know that story. But 3/32 is the minimum tread, and that's about where this tire is. This tire is worn out. You can get away with it a little bit, but be careful if you're low on tread depth. Okay. Check your tire pressures often. That relates to safety, fuel economy, and traction. Overinflated tires have lousy traction. The tire's too hard, it doesn't flex like it should. So set your pressures, okay? All right, a quick note and a really quick one, just like on washer fluid, okay? One, AutoAces gives it away. I don't know why you'd want to buy your own washer fluid, because if you come to any of my shops, they literally will hand you washer fluid. That's part of the customer service that we do. I don't give away a lot of it because people won't stop in for it. Kind of strange, but stop in if you want. We'll fill up your container. We'll give you a jug. It's really easy. If you're uncomfortable with that, fine. That's okay. Just make sure when you're buying it, because it's a consumable, you have to have it, that you buy the right stuff. If you look at these containers, it says -25 on here. That's good, not a problem. Look at this container here. Says -20 here somewhere. That is okay. I was going to try to find a weak mix, like a summer mix. Some will say like 5 degrees. We don't live in Florida, right? So buy the -20 numbers. 20, 25, you'll be okay. And I know we get colder than that. You still might have a problem, but this will get you by. If you're using a -20 to 25 stuff, it usually won't freeze you. It should be okay. Or just come down, let my boys fill it up for you, okay? All right, buy the right stuff. All right, last tip today, batteries. Might be the most important subject we have today is battery. Every car out there starts off a battery like I have in my hand. You can't test it yourself, short of, your family or, somebody have an actual tester. You can't test it. Couple signs, and I'll tell you the right way to do it. One, when you get up in the morning to start your car, how fast it cranks over. Like a slow, hard groan, that battery might be getting weak. Or you turn the key and your lights flicker and it clicks and doesn't start. Or your buddy has to jump start it. Odds are, if your battery was dead and your friend jump started you and you're buying some time to get a battery, you need a battery. We've had a very mild winter. That's not going to hold up. It's going to drop, guys, unfortunately. So have the battery tested. My team will give you a free battery test. Most shops in town will. You can come to my guys, preferably, where you want to go is fine, but have them check your battery. We'll take a battery tester. We'll walk outside. There's no cost for it. We'll actually test the battery, get your price on one, free install on most batteries. Check the battery, okay? Even if you think it's okay, the average age of a battery, lifespan of battery, is 4 to 6 years. If yours is at 6, put a battery in it before you need a battery. Best time to buy a battery is when you don't need a battery. All right?